Hey, I'm here to apologize for mishandling the way I approached the situation with pressure. As with the previous stream where we talked about it, currently chat is on emote-only mode, so I can focus on my opening statement, which once again I've pre-written to make sure I say what I'm trying to say. But after I read it, I'll open the chat to talk about it. Before we get into what I'm here to apologize for, however, I think it's going to be very important to set a clear understanding of what I'm not here to apologize for. This is not a retraction of support for Ren. I support Ren. We must always support victims who come forward about being sexually assaulted. That is always the right thing to do. Here's what my original statement was regarding Ren's document about being sexually assaulted. The original statement said, "Hey folks, since I figure my streams are probably where people will ask me the most about this, it makes enough sense to post it here. Ren, the composer for Pressure, has made a very thorough post about being sexually assaulted by Zeal, the project lead." And then that link was taken down by what seemed to be mass reporting, so I provided another URL to archive it in an edit. And it goes on to say, "Well, I bet you can guess how I'm feeling. I'm shocked, I'm disgusted, I'm disappointed. Much uglier thoughts not fit for print. And yeah, I quit Pressure. I will no longer be the voice of Sebastian Solis. A lot of great folks have done amazing work on the project, and I've met some really cool people because of it. But I just wouldn't feel right working on it again after learning about this. We've pulled the sign prints for Sebastian from the shop as well. I'm fully done with the role. As for fan art of the character on the fan art corner during my streams, I'm sorry. I dearly love the amazing things you all create and appreciate it all so much, but I just don't think I can bring myself to feature pieces for the character after this. To all the fans who have enjoyed the game and enjoyed me as the character, thank you. I can never express how much that love means and will always mean to me. The experiences we all shared still matter, and I hope you never regret any love or creative joy you've taken, no matter how you feel about the project going forward. You are all so amazingly kind and talented. Never let terrible people kill your love, even if you find out you have to channel it elsewhere. There's a lot of cool shit out there to enjoy, and you're going to make some of it too. I know my posts are always too long, but even I can't think of more to add this time. This one's too fucked up. Here's the real bottom line. Please support Ren." Helping bring her story to light and resigning from the project was correct. As the voice of the character who is the face of the game, with so many people who tell me they only tried the game because of me, I felt a responsibility to support her and help her be seen immediately. As for resigning, it would of course be impossible to feel comfortable working on the project after reading that document. The way I mishandled the situation was in not taking a moment to note to the audience that no matter what we believe, we can't know everything that happened. We don't fully know the people we're discussing, and as this deeply uncomfortable process unfolds where different sides of a very difficult story are told, the best we can do is try to set a safe stage for it. I'm allowed to feel something strongly about this story. In fact, it's almost guaranteed I would, and I'm allowed to express how I'm feeling. I'm a human being just like anyone else online, finding out all of this as an outsider to these terrible events. I, of course, never instructed my audience to go harass anyone or encouraged or even implied it should be done in any way, but I wish I had done more to discourage it. My only call to action was that I said people should support the victim who has come forward, which I still maintain is always the right thing to do. Victims of sexual assault have nothing to gain by coming forward and everything to lose. They'll receive very ugly harassment, death threats, manipulation, and reliving the worst experience of their lives over and over just to share their story. Anyone braving that needs to be supported by a caring society. The more you research how to deal with people coming forward about sexual assault, the more you learn that believing them first is paramount. I'm not a counselor, an officer, or any kind of official advisor about any of this. I'm underqualified on this subject, so I trust in the academic wisdom from established institutions that specialize in supporting victims of sexual assault, all of which say to always believe them first when they come forward. I believe those resources, and I believe it is the right thing to do. I believed Ren when she first came forward, and I still believe her now. I had so many people asking me for so many answers. It felt wrong to leave them in the dark, especially because the fans have been so supportive of me through the years. I should have admitted that I was as lost as anyone else, but that we should support victims, and left it at that. Instead, I centered the situation on myself by describing all I really knew about the matter, which was just my feelings on the matter, without reminding people of the important truth that I am not the end-all be-all, and that as outsiders to the situation, we aren't able to decide what is justice here. In this moment, I believe I failed to be the responsible public figure I should have been by not doing more to guide my audience to be respectful to the situation and to each other. I am deeply sorry to everyone for misusing my platform, and I will be a lot more careful with how I say things to the audience in the future. You folks deserve better. During the last stream where we talked about pressure, I think I really messed up. I stated, if you think Zeal's the real victim or want to both sides this, or if you just do not support Ren, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I believe you're simply mistaken, but please just get out. Making a clear expression that I had no interest in hearing further sides of the story or tolerating an open-minded environment for this horrible situation. In that statement, I was addressing my stream audience because I didn't want to deal with people coming in during my streams and trying to start fights about my stance on the matter. Controlling my stream environment is part of being a streamer. If I don't want people coming to try to argue with me in future streams, especially when the point of that stream was to try to move forward, that's fair. In the way I did it, though, I was too firm about clearly shutting out anyone and everyone who was asking for patience and mindfulness in an extremely difficult time. As I stated in my new document, which will be linked in the description of this video on the VOD archive, with having seen bad actors at play harassing Ren, I was afraid that stance was almost entirely to suppress a victim's story. If I feel convinced and don't want to hear more of it, that's up to me. I'm allowed to decide what I personally believe. But in that stream, I was already expressing how I didn't really want to talk about pressure at all in the future. I didn't need to go out of my way to exclude people who were just trying to encourage a safer environment. That was when I believe I went overboard and contributed to a more hostile environment. To operate with no mindfulness of anyone else but what I think is right is to have centered myself and jumped the gun. But I now realize I feel the people asking for that patience were right. I should have that mindfulness, but if absolutely nothing else, I should encourage my audience to have that mindfulness. Maybe some of what I just said feels confusingly obvious to some people. Maybe you think, of course the audience knows you're just saying what you believe and that they should think for themselves. But as a public figure, I should do better to remember the way I contribute to the public environment by sharing my thoughts, and remind the audience that they are exactly that, the thoughts and feelings of an actor you like. I never wanted to be a public figure. I just like voice acting. But in doing so, you get put in that spotlight and receive that pressure to have the answers. I need to do better of making it clear that for most things, I do not have the answers, just my own feelings about it. The reason we are doing this stream today is because I think it's only right to own up to what I did wrong, and then broadcast that admission with the same volume that I did my original approach. Something that happens online a lot, which I think isn't right, is when someone is wrong loudly, but then corrects it very quietly. With something this important and delicate, now that I know what I should have said to help promote a safe environment, I am giving it the same reach, if not more, because while my previous statement stream was up for a few days on the YouTube VOD archive, this will be my last post for a while. After this stream, I'm going to be pretty offline for a bit. Clearly, I am stressed, burnt out, and under tremendous pressure from everyone to do the right thing, which means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I'm spread thin, I'm exhausted, and at this point, it has become too hard to think clearly. I'm not going to be providing running commentary on every new development about this story. Please don't come to me asking for it. I need time to recover, time to reflect, and time just shutting up about all this now that I'm putting the message out there, which I should have originally. I think there isn't really more I can help anyway after this statement, and I can only make it worse for everyone if I keep trying to grab on harder. Not sure how long I'll be away, might be a month or more. I just need to feel it out and give everything and everyone room to breathe, I think. I know this is a question people will ask, so I'll answer it. I will still be fulfilling my duties as a VA to other projects, but just not streaming or doing the coffee request system for a bit, which is pretty much the last vestiges of online I am these days anyway, since I dropped social media before all this news even came about. I emphasize how exhausted I am only because it is relevant to my point that I'm really struggling to find the right way to handle anything, that I don't have answers for you because I'm still trying to find them for myself, and underscore why I really need to step away. I don't want you to worry about me. If there's any focus I should be compelling the audience to support, it's not me, it's supporting victims. Not just Ren or the people involved in this story either. This whole thing has been particularly terrible for many survivors of their own sexual assault, having this story make them revisit their own history. Please support all the victims you know during this difficult time. I truly hope you all find the healing you so rightly deserve. Also, I want to compel you to support yourselves and each other. I've watched this be hard on all of you in a way that makes my heart ache. I never want to see fans of anything go through this again. Your pain does matter too, and like I said in the news statement, please take care of yourselves by talking to someone you trust about this if you're feeling lost, hurt, or confused. Trying to face any of this alone can't help you. And don't spend more time with this difficult subject than you can handle. Please try to get some fresh air and offline activities for your own mental health. For this stream, I'm here to listen to whatever you have to express, even if it's not a question. As for questions, I'm not going to be able to answer a lot of them. What I need to do better this time is admit when I just don't have the answer, rather than just trying to make you feel supported through how you're feeling or trying to give clarity in a time of horrible uncertainty. I wanted so badly to help you all feel better through this that I was overextending and straining myself in the process. This shit sucks, and I'm trying to figure it all out too. My head's a mess right now, and I know it's going to be okay for all of us, but I can't pretend to know the route there. I just know we're going to get there, and you got to take care of yourself as best you can while we find it. But because I'm not sure how much more I can say, this might be an even shorter stream than last time. On my previous stream, I tried to set it to 1 month followers only for the chat, because that stream was mainly to talk to my usual stream audience before moving forward with the channel. Given the size of my usual stream audience, I trust them to say or ask the main big things most people might, and I didn't want any possible inbound flood of people, including any possible bad actors, which do still exist, to create a less safe environment for them to do so. Unfortunately, I think I actually messed up the setting and fully opened the chat by mistake when I turned off emote-only mode. This led to some arguing in the chat, which I didn't even know about, which I apologize for. To prevent that happening again and encourage a healthy and constructive conversation, this time I'm going to make sure it's toggled correctly. I'm turning off emote-only mode now to open the chat. As always, please be respectful to each other. Thank you for your time. Someone asks, can I ask why you removed your old VOD? This was covered in the document I'd posted, but I'll answer that again. That is to help prevent the further spreading of what I think I got wrong there, and prevent that from getting to more and more people without the additional context of this. This stream will have in the description the link to that document and that old VOD to archive what it is I did say for accountability. But to prevent it from spreading further out organically, I've unlisted it. I know some people are going to be coming in late on this and a little bit confused about the context. Let me pin a message about what we're discussing. I'm just going to link the document that I'd posted most recently. But you can rewind on Twitch streams. You can go to the past broadcasts and watch this from the beginning to hear everything I was just saying, in case you want to get caught up to speed here. But I'll pin this just to help avoid that confusion. A lot of people are mainly just asking how I am and being very supportive to me, and I really appreciate that. I'm doing okay. I don't want you to worry about me. I clearly need to take a minute away from this, but it's not me that I want you to be focusing on. Focus on yourself, focus on supporting victims. I'm fine, but thank you. All of you who have been sending me so many supportive messages and everything, I really appreciate all of it. It means a lot. Sorry for the long silence as I just read the messages people are sending. Just trying to take in everything everyone's saying and, figure out how I'm replying. Somebody was asking about my take regarding Roblox. There's not much more for me to add or change there. I feel Roblox is an unsafe platform, and I don't wish to support it or engage with it in the future. This person says, as a victim of SA, I appreciate you speaking and apologizing. It makes me feel heard, and I'm happy you're taking a break. And says thank you. And hopes that Ren is okay in the end. Thank you for taking time to, to express that to me. There are a lot of people like this in the audience and in the people online with this situation who have been expressing how much of themselves they see in this story, in this situation, and their own terrible experience. And I said it already, but I really hope you heal as much. You deserve to heal, and just support. For everyone here, there are a lot of people who have undergone this, and I hope you do what you can to support them during this as well. Will you be taking a total social break? With social media, like I said, before all this even happened, I'd dumped social media. So it's mainly just the streams and the coffee requests that I do for folks that is like sort of the last like places I'm really online anyway. So I guess the answer is yes. I have friends I'm talking to. I'm not, I am definitely talking to friends. And I encourage all of you to stay talking to people you know and trust as well. It makes a huge difference in helping you through stuff like this. This person says, I appreciate the kind words of support. This person says, please know you've made all the right choices. They say, I strongly stand on my ground as an SA survivor to support our fellow SA survivors due to how much violence we experience. I believe it helped show that what happened was a horrible situation that can't be downplayed over a Roblox game. We're all confused and hard on ourselves. We have to be easier and give ourselves the chances to take breaks to handle things better. That is very true, and thank you for saying it. This person asks, no more silly YouTube TikTok videos. I feel like that's very aside from the focus of what I'm trying to look at here and respond to here, but I understand that it's probably one of the few questions I actually can answer. And natural to ask, me here, how else are you going to, anyway, let me just, no, I will keep doing VO and the things that I've done and return to streaming and posting that stuff, in time. I just need to take a bit before I try to swing back to doing that stuff. This person says, I got my therapist to talk to and my friend I trust the most about my experience with SA, and it was pretty difficult to heal. Yeah, I'm sorry that you have anything to heal. Nobody should go through that. But your point about therapy being very good and talking to professionals about this stuff is very, very important and true. That I am sure as hell not a professional about this stuff, and friends are so good and so important to talk to. But this is such a difficult and complicated thing, and it takes a lot of really, really particular and specific knowledge to know the navigation through the process to heal on it. And so anyway, sorry I'm like phrasing it weird, but yes, talking to professionals to help find that way is very, very important. Thank you for sharing that. Well, somebody asks about doing somebody asks about me with the role Sebastian in the future at all. All of that still stands. No, I want to move forward. I won't be performing the character or doing anything with it in the future. Writing things down can also help. That is very true. Thank you for sharing that. This person says making a nice meal also helps. That's also very true. Now's as good a time as any to, be like, yep, still, all of you, hydrating, so important. And yeah, eating, making sure you're staying fueled in that way. You are human. Human needs food and water. Do the best you can to take care of your body, and it'll help. This person just mentions walks are good. Yeah, walks are very, very good. I appreciate the people mentioning to take care of each other. Very true. And thank you all so much for it. As far as I can tell, everybody here is being very good to each other and very respectful, and I appreciate that. I know. I, I I can see, you know, with what I've said and where we're at with it, that I think there doesn't seem to be, you know, too many more questions that people have or anything, but that's completely fine. I'm gonna stay here for a bit longer and just, you know, talk to the chat. Um, if you think of anything, say it. By all means, we're gonna take a minute here. Need to take a break. Anxiety attack setting in. Gonna go eat and go on a walk. Thank you for your time, and absolutely, please take care of yourself. Please feel better. Thank you. Somebody says, wondering if there was lawful action done if you don't feel comfortable discussing this. No, nothing like that. I have not. I put it in my document, but nobody has, threatened me or legally threatened me or privately messaged me or anything like that, to, be like, put this out there or anything like that. This is, I'm being real with you. I came to feel that I mishandled the situation, and I felt it was the right thing to do to own up to it and discuss it and give it the same approach that I had before. It seemed right. I am here saying this of my own free will because I think it's the right thing to do. Gianni, are you okay? You sound sad. I'm sorry. I am okay. I know this is a lot, especially for the stream environment, which is usually so, fun oriented. The reason the original statement was put on here was just because I figured people were going to be asking a lot on my streams about this, and so because that's where the original statement was, this is where I'm putting this statement too. But I apologize because I know a lot of you are not here for this. And I am definitely looking forward to returning to, providing you what you're used to here. But to actually answer the question, I am okay. I obviously, like I said, I am tired from all this, and it's not emotionally easy, but I have a lot of support, and I am okay. Thank you. This person says, I'm a sexual assault survivor. Never got to talk about what happened with me. Appreciate seeing you and others speaking out in regards to the situation. It is in general hard to talk about these projects or topics, but people need to be heard. What happened to Ren is beyond disgusting, and no one deserves to go through that. To any fellow survivors reading this, we support you, and you deserve the world. It's not your fault, and it will never be your fault. Thank you for sharing that, and I'm just so sorry that you share in that experience. Nobody should. And I know I keep saying it, but I hope you find the healing you deserve. This person asks, should people keep playing the game? the the first thing I want to say about that is the game. Any game is so secondary, I don't know, tertiary. It's so far from being the most important thing on the table here, and I think it's important that I emphasize that that it is playing a game is so much less important than supporting victims of sexual assault or any of this stuff going on with this. But I knew that question would come in, and I do still want to say what I can about it, which is that I don't know. I can't answer that for you. I know that I'm moving forward from the project, and I don't want to engage with the game in the future. And I know that I don't even want to support Roblox anyway. So that is where I'm at with it. But what you personally decide is right for you is up to you. And I can't give you the answer. I'm sorry. This one was asked last time, but how do I feel about artists, writers making their own OC stuff still? Pretty much the same answer I just gave, which is it's really up to you. I am honestly glad to hear that despite all this, people want to have still that love and creative joy. And, you know, I don't want, how do I put this? I don't want people to come away from this feeling like regret or shame for having creatively enjoyed a thing, for having liked a game. You know, I think of like the fan in the Sebastian cosplay coming to see me at a convention. Well, there were many of you, but I think of that person and I'm like, it is so awesome that you did that and had that fun and enjoyed that creativity. And I'm so grateful to you for sharing that with me and exploring that play. Is so good, and I hope you don't regret that, even if you do find yourself channeling it elsewhere. I don't want people to come away from this like, oh, time to like not love a piece of art again or something, which I know feels a little bit like a tangent from what you actually asked, but that is the foundation for my thought process when I say that the way you progress with that, with your own OCs or whatever, is entirely up to you. But honestly, thank you for staying creative, and for still making sure you find that love for yourself. I think that's so important. Maybe you're not able to get like on it right now. Maybe this hurts a lot and you need some time to heal and maybe do some other stuff, some outdoor activities, whatever. And, please take that time. But whatever you do creatively, I do hope you don't let horrible shit like this stop you from finding that love. And whatever form that takes is up to you. Sorry, that answer went for a while and kind of went all over the place, but I hope the ideas are there. This person asks, would you still accept emails with fan art? Yes, I'm still, I still greatly appreciate that. I haven't been able to really keep up with it like I normally do, for which I apologize. But of course, regarding Sebastian particularly, like I said, I am done with the role. I want to move forward. But this question was about Gabrielle, or let's just say fan art in general. Fan art in general, I'm, of course, so grateful for that people are making. Some people have sent me some to, like, be supportive during this, which is so sweet of you. But, of course, you can always, fan art of stuff I'm in isn't, like, just for or about me, If you, like, love, I don't know, like, the Gaslight District and want to make a Gaslight District thing, please do. Wherever I am on it, that's, you should follow that creative joy. But thank you for, I understand your question was about, you don't want to, like, press boundaries by still, like, wanting to, send fan art, and absolutely people are sending it, and I appreciate it, and you can, of course. When we come back, I do want to continue just, doing what we normally do on this stream, which is showing off folks' fan art and then being appreciative. Yeah, thank you. This person asks, what can we do to support Ren? And honestly, you're doing it. You, by listening, by hearing her story, by, I don't know how else to put this, by not being an asshole, by not, like, harassing anyone or trying to attack, by just helping create that environment for her to be heard and believed, that is supporting. Your role in this as an audience member is to support by just hearing. You please don't put it upon yourself to, like, be some kind of, like, arbiter of, like, justice, or, like, you have to, like, solve this. We can't just solve this. Just hearing it and making that space and sending that support, that is, I believe, the fundamental ask. I think, I was, of course, talking to a lot of people, and I was talking to my wife about this, who has helped me a lot with this and approaching this. And I just keep thinking about what she was saying earlier, which is it's surprisingly simple to support victims. And yeah, everything I just said. Somebody asks, what's happening? Fair question. There's a document pinned to the top. We are discussing the situation with pressure. And if you want the statement I'm really on air to make today, that was, you can rewind the VOD here on Twitch, and it's, I think, within like the first 15 minutes or 20 minutes, I stated everything that I really came here to say, and now I'm just talking to the audience about it. Thank you and sorry. You don't need to apologize. Thank you. This person says they feel guilty for telling their friends and feeling like they pressed them to support Ren, and they feel like they need to apologize. I've said it repeatedly in what I said here today and what I put in the statement, but supporting victims who come forward is right, and I do not want anyone to feel regret for doing that, for supporting someone who comes forward as a victim of sexual assault. I truly believe it is the right thing to do. And as long as in your case, you weren't pushing them to go target or harass anyone or, try to mete out justice yourselves or whatever, providing that information, sharing that story, and wanting to support someone who came forward was right. And I sincerely hope you don't regret it. I don't. Someone says they want to see the whole picture. In the document I linked, which is my own recent statement, at the bottom there are links to Ren's original document, as well as Zeal's newest statement, and a link to the last stream, for which I'm talking about today. So all those links are there to hopefully help you find that stuff. This person says, I'm confused. Do you still support Ren? Yes. That is, I can't be more clear. Yes. Said it in that document and today's statement. Yes, we must support victims who come forward. This person asks, do you have any advice for SA victims other than just speaking out to someone they trust? I am not the person you need to be asking for advice. I was just looking at, my wife was showing me a link of steps. Honey, if you're here, could you post that link? I think it was a great resource of steps about coming forward. And it's okay if you don't have it. But, well, anyway, the point being, please look to these places that specialize in supporting victims of sexual assault. That is who to ask about how to go about that, not a voice actor you like. This person says, search for community sources. There are local SA clinics that provide counseling. Yes. Local community services and sources that you can trust. I see this one coming up a bit, so I discussed this, well, I covered it a little bit in my opening statement, but people asking me about the doc that Ren is working on, and like I said, please continue to create a safe, open-minded environment, and, yes, that information will come forward, and, hear that, but also don't subject yourself to more of this than you can handle. Please stay safe and don't harass anyone. But that information is going to come out, and or whatever formatting it's put out in, the new document is going to come out. And I'm not going to be providing running commentary about every development or every new document that gets put out with this. And please don't come to me looking for it. This statement that I'm putting out today, to just encourage people to be mindful and patient and safe with each other and themselves. This is the message I want to leave you with on this. And that is included in that too, of course. Hotlines. This person, a few people have said hotlines, and yeah, hotlines help. Sorry, this person attempted to post in the chat here a link for locations of support services in the US, and that got auto-deleted because it's a URL, but I'm just going to post what they were posting in the chat. I don't think that should be deleted right now. Thank you for that. This person says, you are cared for. And that's true for all of you. In the chat, my wife says something that is a point worth mentioning for sure, which is, in good faith, this is what she wrote. In good faith, if there are people who are wondering about who to believe, remember, SA victims have very little to gain by lying about an assault. If you're concerned that anyone can accuse anyone of SA, then remember to get ongoing enthusiastic consent. And I was just looking at a URL earlier. Here we go. That I'll put in the chat. This one's from the University of Sydney, called What Enthusiastic Consent Actually Looks Like. And for people trying to learn more about this, I think it's a good resource of things to consider and to learn if you want to understand more about it. And also shares in the chat a list of hotlines for sexual assault centers, crisis lines, and support services from Ending Sexual Violence Association of Canada. It's endingviolencecanada.org. We are in Canada, for anybody wondering about that. This person says, don't be afraid to reach out. There's so many people that won't mind helping. All you have to do is ask, which is true. And this person says, don't think expressing yourself or talking to someone is a weakness. You're human. You do not deserve to hold in so much pain. You deserve love, support, and genuine care. That is also true. This person says, I think this is an important one to read. This person says, I had a friend who was essayed, and I will never forget how different he was directly afterwards. He was always incredibly calm and collected, rarely ever emotional, but when he told me what happened, I could hear his voice shaking, and he was almost crying. I will always believe and support essay victims. Nobody deserves to go through anything like that. And, well, first of all, I'm, again, so sorry that your friend experienced that, you know, that's something that anybody went through. I'm glad that he had a friend like you there to support him. And I think this story is a good reminder that you don't know what people could be going through, could have experienced. You can't predict, who like did or didn't have an experience like this. All you can do is be supportive when they come forward with it. And you were there and you were supportive, which I really appreciate. And it's, they think there's a lot of truth in this one as to why it's so important that we are there for the people who come forward. This person also says, a different person. And remember that everyone grieves differently. Just because some resources that work for others don't work for you doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It just means we need to find a better suited resource for your needs. And that's really true too. No two people or experiences are exactly the same. But whatever it is you need to find that healing, you deserve to find it. This person says, I'm worried about the people here who have suffered from SA. And that statement, pretty simple, straightforward, statement, I think also further denotes why it's so important to create supportive environments when people come forward, because it also shows to others, hey, if I come forward about this, there will be people there for me, and people who want to support. And, I think having that be the environment for survivors is something we should always strive for. This is a difficult one to read, but probably important that I read it. This one says, this person says, as an SA survivor, I went through it repeatedly, and it ended in me seeing myself as something not worth asking consent to, that a no won't matter. It ended in me fawning because I was cheated on after not giving what was expected of me. I still deeply struggle with fawning. I deeply struggle with remembering my consent matters. It's important for people to know how everyone deals with the aftermath. And first of all, I'm so sorry you experienced that at all. That's and yeah, thank you for sharing that, and coming forward with that. And I think what you're saying here is important for me to, a couple of things here that I think is important for me to emphasize now, which is that everyone who undergoes this will have different experiences and different ways it goes and different horrible things they go through. And what I really want, I just feel like I need to emphasize in your statement is my consent matters. Yes, you matter. Your consent matters, no matter who you are out there. This person says, something happened to me at PAX East 2 weeks before all this came out, and it's been really fucking me up. I am so sorry you've had to experience that, and that's awful. And like I keep saying, but I really hope you find healing and support and whatever you need to support you. And I'm just so sorry that you experienced that. Nobody should. And hearing it happen at PAX East is, I wasn't there this year, but I've worked that event twice in the past. And, thankfully I haven't been witness to anything horrible, anything bad at all. My PAX East experiences have been so great and positive, and meeting with the fans and everything is so wonderful. But I'm reading that from you, that that happened there, is just so horrible. These fucking conventions, they're so good because it's so wonderful to meet in person. And, we do so much online these days to be like, hey, this is a real person, and getting to meet with the fans directly and talk to you directly is also wonderful. But, with these fucking conventions, please always stay safe. And there are a lot of resources out there about staying safe with conventions, and do everything you can to try and be safe. And, with the support of your friends there. And I want to be really careful in how I'm saying that, though, because I'm saying, please, do what you can to stay safe with these. I don't want it to sound like, I don't know, people who experience this stuff weren't being safe enough. This horrible shit can happen to anyone, but it shouldn't happen to anyone. And I'm just so sorry that it does. You matter and your consent matters. Yes. Thank you for sharing it. This person says, as someone who experienced SA as a 7-year-old, repeatedly as a teen, the repeated experience will drill a mentality deep into your head that messes with how you perceive and act. And that is, I think, another thing to be mindful of, that some people have had such terrible experiences, and that we, again, have to continue to be mindful that it can be different for everyone and what everyone's gone through. And I'm just so sorry you've gone through that. This person says, I'm starting to disassociate a bit, so I'll have to go. Absolutely, please. Anybody listening, if, this is messing with you or whatever, please take care of yourself. Absolutely. With any of this, with anything, any of the statements or the situation, or anyone you're, I don't know, reading comments or whatever, you can't do any good by raking yourself back and forth over it. Take care of yourself. This person says, I'm afraid to talk about my experiences publicly out of judgment here. First of all, there's nothing you have to share here. I hope that you find the support and you need to heal and share your story where and how you need to, but that's up to you. This stream is mainly here for me to make my statement about this situation, but none of you have to, be sharing your experiences here. I'm reading these stories that people are saying because I think they emphasize a lot of important realities about this situation as a whole. But I don't want to make you feel like this is some kind of summoning circle where you have to sacrifice your own personal story or something to be part of the conversation. You are part of this conversation, whatever you do or don't share about yourself. And I'm just sorry that you have that kind of experience to share. Nobody should go through that. But please take care of yourself, whatever that means. A lot of people are about hitting the point where they're hopping out, and because there's just so much to take in. And I want to say to all of you, thank you for being here and listening, but also really what I'm saying is thank you for recognizing that and going, you know what, I need to walk away from this, and taking care of yourself by, not further submerging yourself in this really, really heavy, difficult conversation. I think there isn't too much more that I can really add to the statement that I came here to say anyway. So we probably won't be going too much longer, but, I'm really glad that I did open the chat to sit here and discuss this stuff with you, because so many of you have so many, you know, important points to share about this. I deeply, deeply regret that you came about that knowledge through such a terrible experience. But I'm really glad I opened the floor for you to speak. This person says, this is a great way of putting a lot of stuff I was trying to say. This person says, it's awful how common situations like this are, and awful how often it comes with the baggage of not being believed. It's something many see as literally unbelievable, something that couldn't happen to them or people around them. It's so important to cultivate support in communities where you're able to do so, because that reaction of disbelief is incredibly alienating. You really, yeah, you said it. That is precisely it. Thank you for sharing that. This person did share their experience with PAX East, that they were essayed in a bathroom because someone accused them of being trans. I am so sorry you went through that. That is wrong. That is just wrong. You shouldn't. Nobody should. And I hope you find support. I hope you find healing. I hope you find justice. I hope these fucking conventions get safer. People are group hugging in the chat, which is good. And yeah, supporting each other. That's exactly it. I'm a guy who voices characters you like, but it is in your local support groups and your friends and each other that you will find so much of that support that you need and deserve. And the best I can do as some kind of public figure is encourage it, which is what I'm here doing. Thanks for giving me the space to do so. I think that might be about it. I don't really know how to sign this one off. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Support victims. Thank you.